Hi everyone, this is Christina. I'm one of the directors for the Internal Outreach Committee here at UPAW. I'll be going over the second part of our Pre-Req Check event. If you haven't watched the first part that Parth, one of my fellow directors, did, I highly recommend doing that first. So about me, I'm currently in my third year in the Interdisciplinary Medical Science, IMS module, which is not a pathology-related module. However, I believe I would have found this resource extremely helpful during my first 2 years instead of having to scramble around for the resources myself. So what will we be covering today in this part 2 video? I'll be covering the other pathology-related modules, which include the honors spec in biochemistry and pathology of human disease, the honors spec in medical bioinformatics, and the honors spec in microbiology and immunology with pathology. Okay, let's go. First of all, I would like to add on to the list of helpful websites Parth mentioned in the first part of this video series. In Google, you can search for honors specialization modules BMSC, which stands for Bachelor of Medical Sciences, Western. And then you can click on the link called Modules in BMSC. This is a great page with lots of accordions, containing lots of general information about the modules and honor specializations in medical sciences. So for the purposes of the Pre-Req Check, the first accordion, this one, contains a hyperlink to the admission to year 3. And I would click on it, and there's a lot more helpful information to read over in your own time, and even more accordions. So how do we narrow this down? In the 2000 level admission requirements dropdown, you'll find a hyperlink for the academic calendar that Parth mentioned. They also provide these 2 tables, which are great tools for getting a general grasp on the required 2000 level courses and comparing the prereqs for different modules. So if we open the honors specialization modules table, we'll see they have a list with all the possible modules you can take and a bunch of courses here listed at the top and additional info on what all of these symbols mean. You can use this to see how many credits the required courses will take up in your schedule in this column. And it's really good for getting a general grasp on the general 2000 level courses and comparing the prereqs required for different modules. As you can see how many of the courses require biochem, for example, compared to organic chemistry too. However, these are only a tool, and I heavily recommend using this as a general reference along with the academic calendar, as some of the information on this table is slightly outdated. Going back to the Admission to Year 3 BMSC tab, you can also open the Honors Specialization modules Maximum Capacity and Minimum Averages dropdown, which contains a hyperlink, this one, to the chart shown in Part 1, with all of the averages for the different courses and the maximum capacity. As mentioned in Part 1, the minimum average is the average of the last person to be admitted into the module. One thing to note is that for courses with more than 3.0 required course credits, which include the biochem and pathology of human disease and microbiology and immunology with pathology modules, they use the best 3.0 course marks to calculate your average. So for the biochemistry with pathology of human disease one, we can see that there is 3.5 required course credits. And from here, you would only have to get a high average in the best 3. I'll be going to the academic calendar so we can cover the required courses for the other pathology modules. So on the site, Control F is very useful. And after opening the programs offered dropdown, I'll use Control F to find the biochem and pathology of human disease module. Make sure that it says honors specialization in front of it. And we click on the hyperlink. This has all the required first year courses and second year courses, which are down here. Note that this module requires a 65% in the biochem 2280 instead of the 60% that they mention is required for other second year courses. Next, we can go back to the academic calendar to find the Medical Bioinformatics module, which is over here. And then we also can click on it, leading us to a similar site with the first year courses and the second year courses down here. However, do note that Medical Bioinformatics requires Comp Sci 2121 here, which has very specific prerequisites listed down below here, which is either Computer Science 2120 or the first year Computer Science 1026 with a minimum mark of 60%, along with registration already in medical sciences. These notes at the bottom are very important for planning ahead. I do recommend watching out for them and reading them if you do decide to look through this yourself. And finally, we can go back to find the microbiology and immunology with pathology module, which is here. We click on it, and it leads us once again to the same information with the first year courses and second year courses. Do note that this module requires MicroIM 2500 with a mark of at least 70%, as this is a prerequisite for a higher level MicroIM course later in the module. And that's all we have for today. I hope this resource was useful. If you still have questions, reaching out to academic counseling is the way to go. Thanks for watching.